everyone, can you hear us?
Hello.
Is that you, John?
Hey, how are you doing?
Hello. Hi,
Hey.
Jessica. Hi, Al. Should we wait just a few to see if there's any more attendees?
People are busy today, huh?
There's Reed. Hi, Reed. Oh, Reed's gone.
I try to start my video. I am hunkered down in my pickup right now.
Keep the heat on. It's a little bit chilly.
Yeah, just got done with some defensive driver training, so just having to set up here in the parking lot. Doesn't like me using video though. I'll try it again here shortly.
Just put yourself on the beach, John.
Yeah, I wish that'd be nice. So I see Al and Reed, Mike, Jessica.
Jessica was here holding down the fort. Thanks, Jessica.
Absolutely.
John, are you trying to start your video, or what are you trying to do?
Well, I did, and then it hollered at me, but is it working?
Oh, now we can see you.
Okay, yeah, it's working, but it does, I'm using some bandwidth, but I don't care. Hey, who's got the
Beach, John.
There we go.
Yeah, maybe if you're on the beach like Jessica, it'd work better.
Let's go there. Let's go there. Golly, I was just at doing some defensive driving training, and all kinds of stories being shared, but I mean, there were some really, really impactful stories today that are personal to this group. It was fun.
We're not in Hawaii with snow and flooding.
Say again?
I said, at least we're not in Hawaii with snow and flooding.
Yeah, right?
Oh goodness, wouldn't that be terrible to take a vacation there and have to run into that?
Oh, oh.
Good thing the snow won't last very long, probably. All right, should we call the meeting to order?
Let's do it.
All right, hello, I'm sitting here with Krista. I'm Nikki Dunn. And I don't know if you can see in person, but Victoria Pearson is here, also Jeremy Matheny. There we are.
Hi.
Okay, so we officially call the meeting to order at 11:03. So first, we've got to start with our certification of open meeting law. So meeting is open?
Yep, and the open meeting law requirements have been met.
Thank you. All right, I need to call for approval of the agenda. Can I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda? Jeremy makes a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, Jessica, was that you talking?
Yes.
We're gonna go ahead and take Jessica, Victoria, sorry about that. And then a second by Jessica. How about the approval of the minutes for the previous meeting?
We have to do a roll call vote.
Oh, yes, let's do a roll call.
Or not roll call, excuse me, just, you can do all those in favor, say.
Okay, all those in favor of the agenda with a motion by Jeremy and a second by Jessica. Please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Number 4 on our agenda, approval of the minutes from the previous meeting that took place on September 8th, 2021. Should have been sent to you. Any questions on that? Any discussion, or can I seek a motion and a second for approval?
I make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I'll second.
And Jeremy seconds that. Any discussion? All right, let's do a vote. All in favor of approving the minutes from 9/8/2021?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. All right, around the table we go.
Oh, the virtual table. What's been going on in safety between last gathering and this one? I see you got Al and Reed and here. I suppose we could take that just kind of an open forum to bring the group up to speed.
Well, the park has been getting closed up for the year since last time. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yep.
You know, just less people out there since the last meeting, obviously, with, you know, being the end of the season. However, you know, a fair amount of deer hunters like to stay at the park this time, or, you know, in October, November. But as far from a safety perspective, you know, getting things closed up, you know, sharpening tools, that kind of thing towards the end of the year. That's kind of what's been going on at the park. Water shut down and everything, so not a lot of activity out there. So not too many concerns safety wise as of right now at the park.
Thanks, say, and we can, you know, we'll key in on this maybe too throughout the meeting. If, you know, I'm just thinking about your group and maybe any spring training opportunities, but we'll, you know, we can get there in a second here.
Okay.
Yep. So Jessica, what's your group been up to? Any safety activity?
All kinds of mischief.
Yeah, I know you have been.
Couple things that have been going on for us is we just had one of our staff that just completed her training for fit testing for the qualitative measurements. Haven't implemented it yet, but we're working on that policy right now for the agency. And the conversation that we've had previously regarding that was on who's reviewing the actual document, the medical historical record of the individual staff members.
Sure.
And we're going to use our health officer, our medical director is going to be reviewing individuals so that our supervisors don't have to look at our actual medical history component.
Awesome.
And for the HIPAA component of that. Concern that we have and I've been actually affected by this a couple different times, is traffic out on Highway 53. I know this is not safety, but it also applies over to the traffic safety. Using the crosswalks in front of the courthouse is like a logistic nightmare.
Yep.
People are not slowing down. They're just keeping coming full blast. I've actually had people go around someone that is pulled over or stopped in waiting for the crosswalk person, and
Sure.
someone will go around the right side of them and still keep coming. So one of the questions that we had is there some way that maybe there might be a sign, you know, a little slow down sign or something that's posted out there?
Very good inquiry. So currently, we just have the cross,
It's gonna
right?
be
Probably some
obliterated by a
signage
snowplow.
indicating.
I already looked into it. There's nothing I can do for that right now other than talk to the city cop, and he'll post out. It's on, and he'll post out sitting there, trying to, you know, you see a cop, you slow down, but I don't have any lights I can put up. If I put up a sign, like I said, either the city trucks, the city plow trucks, or the highway guys, they're gonna hit it if I put it. It's not the right time of year to leave a sign in the middle of the crosswalk for that, so.
I think even the other day, one of the situations that occurred to me personally was that I was in the middle of the crosswalk and the person that was making a right-hand turn onto the main drag, Highway 53 South, for the right turn lane, even though I was halfway across the crosswalk, they still decided that they were going to make a right-hand turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, so this is Al. So yeah, there is something we can do about this. I will put it on my next quarterly traffic safety meeting with State Patrol and DOT, and we can look into putting in some of those flashing crosswalk signs on 121. The issue is going to come down to funding because those things are about $10,000 to $13,000 a piece. If you have one in each direction, you're probably talking around 25 grand for them. But they run on solar power, and they have the flashing amber lights. Get that way, you can get it where there's LED lights around the perimeter of the sign. There's certain stripings that they can do on the highway itself. So there are options here that can be done, and I will get that conversation going with my safety meeting with DOT and State Patrol and Sheriff. We meet in about 2.5 months because we just had our last one here a couple of weeks ago. But there are options there.
Yeah, Al, that's a good permanent solution. I don't know if they make anything like that for temporary, something that could be wheeled in or temporarily used, or I'm just talking openly, but that's a good call out. We just had a driver training and got in that conversation about crosswalks don't stop anybody. They're just a recommendation, right?
Victoria is here from Human Services. Victoria, did you have anything to add?
For, I guess, the Human Services Department, right now, we are stocking our cars with salt, just in case, a car gets stuck so they can get out. And that's kind of what we're focusing on right now with regards to safety.
Okay. Any winter activities in the works? Maybe anything to do with slip and fall prevention on that front? I'm sure there's a lot with the first snowfall or first couple with facility maintenance around campus and sidewalks.
There you go,
Like
Jeremy,
that.
what do you got? Anything good for us?
I've had no incidents yet this year. I have
Attaboy.
a lot less sidewalk and parking lot to maintain this year, so the square footage for incidents is down significantly. But prior to winter, we obviously had some sidewalks replaced, and then the front of the building, I had all those mud jacked as best as we can, so they're all level and there's no tripping hazards as best we could. So now it's just a matter of keeping it, ice-free as best we can. I have the same amount of salt this year that I did for the past 2 years, and like I said, with the amount of blacktop that I don't have now, I should be good to go on salt. All of my equipment is in. We got a sweeper for the skid steer this year, snow pushers, and then the buckets. So, hopefully we should be good to go.
Absolutely.
Hey, John, this is Krista from HR. Do you have any, fun flyers or handouts that we could maybe send out in an all-staff email in regards to slip, trips, and falls, just as a reminder?
Yeah, you read my mind. I was just thinking, at the front end here, we should take advantage of any signage or messaging. I can certainly, I don't want to use what we've used in the past for the fear of people seeing the same thing year over year, but certainly I'll pull together, kind of looking for like a one-pager, right, to send out.
Yeah, I think something short, sweet, to the point, but just to get people thinking about it.
Yep.
Okay, we haven't heard from.
Yep, let's do
Jeremy,
that.
Did you have anything else? We haven't
I
heard from
will
Mike
send that
Corman.
over.
Let's see if Mike's got anything for us.
I do not.
Thank you. Anybody else? Don, did you have anything more?
see. I will have, well, is everybody okay too?
We didn't hear you. Say that again?
Darn it. Am I getting choppy here?
That's okay. Tell us again.
Oh, no, I don't wanna.
He was asking if
I
you
was-
could hear him okay.
We had some highway training events we held over November and December. We did a plow driver training for the crew. Also had our winter safety day there just last week, so had a great feedback and had fun with the highway. Boy, I'm apologies.
Okay, you're back
Let me,
now. We
I'm
lost you
trying to
for a
get
while,
to a better
John.
spot. I'm right in the building here too. I don't know what's going on with this thing.
Well, what we heard is that you had, at the highway, you had some training events, winter safety
Yeah.
and some plow training.
Yeah.
And it wasn't any fun at all, and that's what we heard. No, it was, you said it was pretty fun.
We had a lot of fun. We had fun. What a great group.
Did you have anything else, John?
I did not at this time, not for fast updates.
Anyone else? I don't think anyone else has joined us. Did you see anybody? No. Okay, next we can move on to quarterly workers' compensation loss review.
Yes, so I'll send these out to people to follow the meeting. We have, I'm just gonna say, we've had a relatively good year. I'm looking at, a whole loss run here. I mean, we've had, 28, we'll call it 28 recordable events. Just a handful of those have resulted in any lost time. So that's always a trend that we're happy to see. We do still see in terms of injury leaders, maybe not so much the slips and falls in terms of the premises, ice and whatnot, but slips and falls on pieces of equipment, just kind of coming and going, in and outside of buildings. And then the other major category, which I'd welcome peeling back a little, certainly this year, has to do with combative or resistive individuals in our facilities. We're still seeing a fair amount of losses, people getting in altercations, whether it's on the sheriff's side, in our IMD medium and high security facilities. We're would welcome peeling back, working with the healthcare side and some of that if we so choose to peel back what's going on there and where we had some of those off. Hopefully, did that come through loud and clear?
Yep, it sure did. Thank you.
Okay, but I'll send out a physical follow-up document to the safety committee that kind of summarizes the buckets of what we're seeing. And, again, not a lot of slips and falls. The premises has been great where we saw a lot of, a majority of the claims coming from that, but maybe now talking about other walking and working surfaces within our facilities.
Don, would it be able to get just like a one-page little thing on de-escalation of situations? Not
Yes.
extensive thing, but just a real quick, short, brief a thing just as a reminder of things that people can look for or have a resource for?
Yes, absolutely. that's an call out. I mean, I'd like to learn more too about the scenarios, right? These people are put in. There's obviously some tougher scenarios, trying to predict the unpredictability of an individual, right? So, but yeah, I'd be happy to get something together and send it your way. No problem.
I think if it gets too detailed, it becomes overwhelming. So if we could have something more in a generic format that would apply to everyone, that might be more beneficial.
Yep, I hear you. I got you. Good. Can help you with that.
All right, so it looks like we are done with number 6, quarterly workers' compensation review. Next would be safety training matrix.
Yes, so.
I feel like we need
Probably-
opening music for that or something. It's kind of a big deal.
It's probably quite a bit to unpack there. If we remember our last meeting, we held a safety committee meeting, and then I had sent out our safety training matrix to the departments for some feedback. At this point, I had only received feedback from Jessica. Thank you. And we have had some discussions around that. And then, I feel like in light of our, working toward our kind of our electronic training system, timing of this will be real nice. But Krista, like I indicated to you in an email, I worked real hard between now the new year to connect with each of those departments to make sure we have those items on our matrix that need to be for each of the departments. It was really helpful to hop on Jessica and different topics and have her tell me how they've typically done the training and how they would expect to receive the training going forward. So that's for me, I thought we'd get a little more feedback between last meeting but so be it. I could reach department heads or other responsible parties and work through it that way.
Yeah, I think if we can definitely put a priority on it, at least these next 2 months, to try and hammer out our matrix, just to be sure everything is done. I know I'm kind of jumping ahead here to the next agenda item as far as the videos go. But just a brief update on those. So we were working, Nikki and I were working with John on trying to figure out the best solutions maybe for the county as far as different safety training companies go. We heard from, John, I'm blanking out on what the 2 companies were that we heard from on your end. Was it KPA and?
KPA and Vector Solutions.
Okay. And then the third one that we're more closely exploring is a platform called NeoGov. NeoGov is kind of a wide system that offers many different modules, so to speak, and training is one of them. Hoping to take this to Personnel Bargaining Committee next week for them to review. As far as cost goes, I should be able to take on the cost at least for 2022 as part of our workers' compensation budget. So I don't think that'll be an issue, but there is, goodness, a wide variety of topics. Definitely would meet our need as far as our safety matrix goes, and then above and beyond. I mean, there's different types of leadership trainings for supervisors that are also a part of that module that comes from NeoGov. So I think it'll be a really good system if we can get it up and running, hopefully in the first part of 2022. Our videos have been down since March of this year, so we've got quite a backlog of employees to get caught up on their safety videos.
So I was really impressed with their course catalog offerings. What did you think?
Yes, it was very, very good. More than I expected.
Outside of safety, like you mentioned, just staff development. I mean, I was, a lot of different topics, career development, how to use computers. I mean, there's all sorts of things that certainly meets the intent of our safety training requirements there. So
Right, and the nice part about the system too is instead of, department heads or HR trying to track down employees, letting them know that they're due for these safety training videos, this module will actually send out emails right directly to the employee, letting them know, hey, you've got 30 days to complete this, hey, you're 30 days overdue. So it really takes that piece out of it from management.
Nice.
This could really
And it-
help your matrix for sure.
Right.
Even if we divide some things because there's 2 videos or 2 different steps.
Right.
But John, as far as getting feedback from departments or department heads, maybe just that broad question of, what are your suggestions? Maybe it needs to be maybe driven down to bite-sized pieces. Would that help some?
Yes, I agree with you. Part of it, I think, is, it's not always necessarily, that would be, and correct me if I'm speaking out of turn, just connecting with the proper individual, and then, like you said, Nikki, taking that in bite-sized pieces of, here's our required regulatory training, and, then let's look at, because that's easy to single, 10 or 15 different titles that each department needs, and then, working through the things we'd like to see for that, like defensive driving or stuff like that. So I'll take any help I can get connecting with the individual to walk through that.
Yeah, when you got people that are, really busy, it's really hard to look at a
Yep.
whole spreadsheet and try to filter through it. If you could send it in bite-sized pieces and then maybe ask some more pointed questions to seek the answers that to get the answers that you're seeking, maybe that would help some.
Okay, thank you. Could I connect with Ben? Maybe help me, if we're talking about services or health or share, to connect with these different individuals?
So we didn't hear the beginning.
Oh, could I rely on you to help me connect with the right individuals as we work through the departments here? And I'll take it from there.
You bet.
Yep, thank you.
All right, so it looks like we've hammered out 7 and 8. Was there any follow-up on the training videos? Anybody have any questions on those?
I did just pull up the course catalog really quickly, and there's 53 Word document pages of trainings that would be available to us with this. So there's a lot.
So are those then, like you said, it's all automated, available to take on a PC or a mobile device, I'm assuming?
Correct, yep.
Awesome.
I like the idea that there was some personal growth and development options also in there that would be available if that's.
Yeah, I'm looking through it here, there's even like Microsoft Excel courses that employees could take, Word, PowerPoint, listening skills. I mean, you name it, it's on here. Slips, trips, and falls, so that would fulfill that. Yeah, and
Oh, go ahead.
the nice piece with this NeoGov is we're hoping we can build off of the different modules that we have. So in a perfect world, I'd like to implement the training module and then hopefully the performance review module into next year, as that's a goal for HR next year, is to implement a county-wide system. And then there's also a recruitment module that we could add on too that would help kind of streamline all of our recruiting processes. And there's a whole bunch more modules we can add on, but those are kind of the 3 that we're looking at for 2022.
And with many things, there'll be policies to follow.
Yes, yes.
We can't just have a free-for-all for people to be spending work time in self-development. I mean, it's not less about limiting and more about it being adjusted by the supervisor on the time and, to have some guidelines. So look for those to come first, but now we're still in the hopeful mode, right?
Yes.
We're far from wishful thinking, we're more into hopeful. So that's pretty exciting, because it has been quite a while. All right, wonderful. Any more on videos? I'm good. Anyone else on videos?
Anything worthwhile like that, the process definitely takes to anticipate, right? In terms of vetting and get money and all that stuff, right?
time is money. All right, let's move on to number 9, short-term safety goals for discussion. John, what do you got for facility visits or inspections, or is there any upcoming training?
Yeah, so Reed just let me know that he's gonna connect with me, offline, but I have, I will connect with, again, each responsible person, within the training matrix, but there's a tab within our training matrix that lists our safety audits that happen throughout the year, as well as our training events. And I have coming up in January, because we talked about it after the highway safety meeting, to do our highway facility safety audits in either January or February with Rich and team. And these are fluid and dates aren't set in stone, but I've got the downtown facilities listed for safety inspection or audit in April with Jeremy. Spend some time walking around, looking at the facilities. I've got park set for summer, for July, to do some inspections there, and then the healthcare in June and jail in September. So our next inspections will be the highway department in January, February. Our next training will likely be sometime in the early springtime with both the highway works and facilities.
All right, thank you.
Are there, I mean, this is just an open, any, Krista, Nikki, any, Jeremy, Jessica, any safety training events that you all have on the radar that you have scheduled or set, or something that you'd like my help with, or in December or January that should be on our radar?
Nothing from an HR perspective, I guess, that I can think of at this time.
Yep, because I'm,
Nothing from the health department that I can think of off the top of my head for the next 2 months.
okay, I mean, we do have, just like when highway, we want you all day for the plow training. I mean, we do have the ability to come in and help with, some longer sessions or even some quick hitter stuff. If people are getting folks together for any sort of a training deal, we can certainly come in and help with that. It doesn't always necessarily have to be on our schedule as part of our regular.
Thank you for that.
I mean, if, for example, if we want folks together to talk about, de-escalating a violent scenario, like we're doing in La Crosse down at the library. We wanted to talk about how to deal with suspicious individuals. I'm open to putting anything together at any time for any department.
All right, thank you for that. Okay,
Yep.
anybody have anything else? Otherwise, we can move on to setting a date for our next meeting. Hearing nothing else, I would suggest January 11th. That looks like.
We're quarterly.
Oh, we're quarterly. Okay, so what do we got for our next meeting?
John, what does your schedule look like?
I can go, that far out,
Pretty
I'm all
open.
ear. Whatever the group thinks, I'm curious about the ability to do this thing in person next time. I think we get a little bit extra seeing each other's faces and maybe the ability to conversate and work on items, but I'll leave that up to the group.
How about March 9th?
Road trip.
Yep, March 9th works. I like March 9th at 10 o'clock.
That sounds great. And John, our building is open, so if you wanted to be in person for our next meeting, you are more than welcome.
Yes, that's, That's a mission, a mission of mine. I'd like to, for the January start, I'd like to schedule at least one day a month out at Trempealeau County, if that makes sense.
Sure, absolutely.
Just FYI for you guys, March 7th through 9th is the Wisconsin Governor's Conference on Emergency Management and Homeland Security. If anyone would be participating in that, that might be a barrier to the meeting.
Jessica, are you attending that?
That's questionable right now.
Okay. Would you be attending virtually if not in person?
It would be at the Wisconsin Dells as we're scheduled that meeting right now.
Okay. All right, well, we
But
can
I'm
go,
just throwing that up because it might not just affect me, it might affect someone else.
right, right.
Yep.
John, is that something you'd be attending?
It's not. It's, that's an interesting event though. That's not something I'm attending though.
I mean, I don't know if we'd be taking into anybody else's time, but, the next Wednesday would be the 16th, otherwise we could do a day or like a day after, or it would be really nice to set a meeting date today.
Yep. Yep. What are the dates on that event?
It was scheduled, well, tentatively scheduled for March 7th through the 9th.
Oh, right at 3 days there, yeah. We could, we could go to the 6th there.
Well, the other thing is just, don't change it just because of me. I was just putting it out there in case someone else attempts it that is also participating in safety.
Why don't we go to the 10th, March?
Sound good to anybody?
10th, and we'll have, we might have our online training, right? I'm just thinking between now and then, or be done and said,
So we
or
could go at 11? Why don't we do 11th on the 10th? The 10th at 11 a.m.
10th
That
at
sounds good
11.
with me.
Okay. I got it.
Okay, so a tentative date for our next meeting is March 10th at 11 a.m.
Awesome. I like it.
All right, so it's time to adjourn the meeting unless anyone has anything else. Hearing none, I would seek a motion and a second to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second by Mike.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks, everyone.
I gotcha.
Have a safe, safe day and a safe week here. Thanks, everyone.
Hey, have a good one, John.